Appalachian State University, a small university founded in Boone, North Carolina in 1899. First as Watauga Academy, then as a training school for teachers, a normal school, and then a teachers' college before joining the UNC system in 1971. Over that time, the university has changed the rural mountain town it inhabits into something different altogether. A rural area with rural problems that houses 20,000 extra people during the semester. Good and bad, App State is part of Boone's identity. Every semester, when I start a new class and we do icebreakers, students are asked why they chose App State. Most of them say the nature. The mountains, the parkway, the rivers. But with all these extra people, all the extra housing, and the seemingly never-ending construction, what does App State do to ensure the protection of the region it calls home? And what can students drawn to its natural beauty do to contribute? Sustainability at App State is not a trend, it's a tradition. That's the headliner on the homepage for the Appalachian State University Sustainable Development Program. But what does this mean? Is it true? How can students involve themselves in these efforts? I spoke with Laura England, the Director of Academic Sustainability Initiatives, about her role in the Pathways to Resilience project and what the Quality Enhancement Plan of App State really does.
So I'm Laura England, and I'm from the Department of Sustainable Development, where I taught for about 15 years. And for the past year and a half and for the upcoming years, I'm co-leading the Pathways to Resilience Quality Enhancement Plan, which is a 5-year campus-wide climate literacy initiative focused really on climate solutions. So helping students all across the university, regardless of major, to think about what are the ways in which this discipline and all the professions, jobs that flow from it can contribute to a more resilient future. So we're a small shop, if you will. The way that we get a lot of work done is by working with partners all across campus. So academic departments, but also offices that work with students outside of the classroom, providing learning, co-curricular learning opportunities. And collectively, we're trying to develop and offer as many different opportunities for students to learn about climate change and climate solutions as we possibly can. So what that looks like inside the classroom, we're supporting the new general education curriculum. Students who started at App State this academic year are on our new Gen Ed curriculum, Gen Ed 3.0, and it has a requirement that all students take a sustainability and climate literacy course. With the launch of this new Gen Ed curriculum, it really puts App State into a position of leadership nationally in sustainability education. We're now among one of fewer than 10 institutions of higher ed nationally that require all students to take at least one sustainability or climate literacy course. The other work is with trying to offer co-curricular opportunities, and we're doing a lot of events where we're bringing in speakers, and then there are climate learning opportunities that other offices on campus are just developing as part of their effort to participate in the QEP. It really is like a university-wide effort. We definitely could reach more people. Yeah. And hopefully, as this initiative progresses and we get faculty and staff involved, like our little office can't reach every student, right? But, building this community of faculty and staff who are involved collectively, we can reach more students. And every year that's growing. Students coming to App State, and this is probably true for students starting college anywhere, they know so much more about climate change from the outset than they did when I began teaching back in, was it 2010? And I think that's because of Life Online that, young people are coming across and digging into learning about climate in their, exploration of social media and just being online. About, 10, 12 years ago, I was really hearing students say, we are frustrated that we're not getting enough climate education in our degrees. And, in pockets around campus, there was a lot of climate education, but, students were like, we're all living in this climate, we are all living on planet Earth. We all need to understand what's going on here and how we can help. We're not doing enough, like full stop. Like that's just true. But there are reasons why, and I think so for the students or whoever the individuals are who want to make the criticisms, I think it's important to, first of all, get involved and help.
Yeah.
Usually the criticisms come from people who aren't helping.
Yeah.
But also understand the why. And honestly, a big part of the why is lack of funding. We don't have a state legislature that is funding UNC system campuses to meet sustainability objectives, even that are laid out in UNC system policy. Sort of higher levels of power holding that are placing significant limitations on what we can do as a university. We've broken through on the curricular side, thankfully, but in terms of sort of the greening of the university itself and what the environmental footprint and the carbon, climate contributions are of our university, we have a long ways to go. We have a lot more aspirations than we have action, and so again, I understand the legitimate frustration, and student voices can play a really important role in helping to put pressure on the parties that could actually help change that, and in what in the world outside of the university it takes to make change, which is persistence, and it takes showing up again and again and again.
We'll be here next year and the year after that.
Stuff we're emphasizing, one of the kinds of programs we're trying to offer are programs that give students a safe space to be in community with people around the difficult emotions we feel. Facing climate change head on is hard. We have a lot of feelings about that, and it's important not to ignore the emotional dimensions of doing this work. That kind of being isolated in your own emotions, that works counterproductively against the collective action that we need. So that's part of what we're working to offer students. I always like to point out that climate doom has the same effect as climate denial. We throw up our hands and do nothing.
Yeah.
And so when we allow climate doom to seep in and when we spread it, we're doing the work of the fossil fuel industry, essentially. I mean, they love climate doom, and I haven't heard anything yet, but I wouldn't be so surprised if a scholar at some point unearths internal documents from Exxon or whatever, they've found around some other things that show that the oil and gas industry has actively promoted climate doom. Climate doom is not supported by the evidence. If you ask climate scientists, are we doomed? Is there nothing we can do? They will say absolutely not. The future is yet to be written. What we collectively do will drive what future we get. And yes, there are some entities that have more power than an individual, but we can counter that collectively. No one of us can solve it. And it's also true that each one of us can be a part of this huge collective community effort to really, truly make things different. There's more opportunities than there have ever been before to do meaningful work, work that matters both locally, because climate solutions work always has local benefits, and work that literally matters to the whole planet, because this is a globally integrated problem.